What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, Big Ive, the talking to tell, Mr. DETV, Mr. Positivity. And again, this is a special episode of DETV. Good morning, America. Good morning, America. Shoot. Good morning, Wilmington. And it is so much going on in the city of Wilmington and in the state. But I had to bring my guest back because she's not just amazing or have an amazing voice, but she's doing something great for the city, and that's introducing the people of color to opera. Domenico, how are you?
Domenico is our incredible maestro. Domenico is conducting our production of La Traviata, which opens this weekend. So as a reminder to all of our friends at home, I was here, I got to pop on for Good Morning.
And you did a heck of a job.
And I got to pop off, if we're being honest.
Oh, well, we got time today. We have time today.
We always make time.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm Kerriann Otano. I'm the Vice President of Engagement with Opera Delaware. I was a full-time opera singer for 10 years. Mm-hmm. We talked a bit about this when I was on last time. And what I realized in the 10 years that I was performing was that opera singers and conductors, like our incredible maestro, were bouncing from city to city, right, performing, living out of a suitcase, and not really connecting with the community. And then we as an opera industry are saying, how do we get more people in the community involved? How do we get more people to participate? Well, the answer is this. The answer is that we connect with you and we make the space feel like it's a space where everybody belongs, like what you did with this show, right? So any of the myths or expectations or fears that you have, apprehensions that make opera feel like it's not for you, we deal with all of that, right? So what are we supposed to wear to the opera? You're supposed to wear whatever makes you feel cool. You're supposed to wear whatever makes you feel dope, whatever you want to be seen in, whatever makes you feel confident. Ivan, I'm looking at you on this red carpet runway.
I know, but look, you know what? It's been like when you think of opera, right? Yeah. And Maestro, I know you could look at it too. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't directly marketed to us here in Delaware.
That's
like that, right? But now you two, young, vibrant, love opera, are introducing it to a whole new audience.
That's right.
Now you have a new position at Opera Delaware.
Yes.
Now tell everybody that position.
So I'm the Vice President of Engagement. I was a full-time singer for 10 years and I got to travel all over. I got to live in Italy and perform all the time. Vice President of Engagement, we boil down my job description to just 5 words. It's to bring people closer to opera.
Damn.
As a biracial girl from New York, my mom and my dad had different experiences with opera, right? My parents, I didn't learn about opera in public school. I had to meet someone who took me by the hand and introduced it to me. It was part of Domenico's culture growing up. But for us, we need someone to introduce us to it, and that's what I want to be here in Delaware. I want to be the person who goes, I was down at DSU today talking to the students. I was at Sussex Academy. I want to be the person who's introducing you to opera so you know it's got a friendly face. We're here to make it a place for everybody, and you're going to have a good time with us.
Now, Maestro, what was it like growing up in Italy with that being a part of your culture?
Well, not only was part of my culture, but it was part of my family. So my father being an opera singer that was constantly traveling, it was the normal thing. Even today, sometimes I plug myself into Italian television, and you know, they have the TV game shows, and opera is part of the answers.
Right.
And I was so happy to see it because even in 2023, it's right there. It's alive, and people kind of still know about it. So it's like almost the everyday thing.
Now, so it's like, and you have opera and you have Italian food, but they said you can't have Italian food without a good wine or champagne.
That's right. That's it.
So while we're talking about that, you mind doing the favors?
No, of course.
Go ahead, you can do the favors.
Absolutely.
And let's go.
Absolutely.
Okay. Why are you popping that, right?
Very smoothly. Though.
Very smoothly.
Very smoothly.
Just like that transition, right? And while he's doing that, so how are people receiving your position when you're talking to the Black and brown community about opera?
I mean, I think that what I've realized is that there is an innate curiosity in everyone, right? I think that we're all very curious about the arts. I think we're all very curious about one another's culture. I think that if I can be vulnerable, if I can be warm, if I can be welcoming, then it allows other people to feel, pop it, Maestro.
He said smooth.
He said smooth. He didn't lie.
He wasn't surprised. He said smooth.
But I think
he said, look, Michelle back there like this.
I said it.
You said smooth.
I think that what I found talking to, in particular, young people and people of color, the expectations that we have, the way that we perceived opera,
Right.
you're not wrong for thinking that it wasn't for you.
Right.
Historically, it wasn't for everyone.
Who
right?
was it for?
Well, when opera first was written, very different vibe. I
Right.
mean, we talked earlier about the Carmen the hip opera.
Right.
That's more like what opera was when it first came out. Opera
Okay.
was for people to go and feel, we're gonna feel some type of way,
Salute.
we're gonna drink, we're gonna party together.
Right.
People from all different backgrounds are gonna be in this space. Over the last 100 years, it's become seen as something that is elitist. The people who are making it are people like me and Domenico.
Right.
The people who are making it are people who like went to public school. Like,
Right,
you know,
right.
I'm an opera singer. So if you know that that's someone you can relate to, you know that the space is for you.
Right.
If you know that you're gonna be comfortable with what you're wearing, with understanding the story, then you're gonna feel comfortable in the space. And I feel like that's when I'm trying to prepare the path.
Right.
Let Jesus go in first.
There
You know
you
what
go.
I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm trying to prepare the path so people know that you can ask me any question
Right.
about opera.
Right.
You can ask me any question about the arts.
Right.
I want to help you understand ballet. I want to help you feel comfortable in these spaces because it's for us.
Right.
And the only way that it's for us is if we show up.
Right.
Right.
Can I add to
Please, please.
what she was saying? So, especially because I'm holding this.
Let's go.
I have a lot of people that come to me, a lot of first-time opera goers. They are just super impressed. I'm so surprised that I like this.
Right.
Because I didn't think, I wasn't supposed to.
Right.
I wasn't, in theory, I wasn't supposed to like this because
Right.
I know nothing about music.
Right.
I said, you don't have to know anything about music for
Right.
you to be here.
Right.
And I tend to give him the example of, it's like vino, right?
We'll translate that for the people. They don't know what vino
Wine.
means necessarily.
Right. Right.
Right. It's all Italian.
So
right?
Italian.
So I don't know how many notes of raspberry and chocolate there is in here.
Right.
I either like it or not.
Right.
And that is the extent of my knowledge as far as wine is concerned.
Right.
That should be the extent of the knowledge that you should have when you go see classical music or an opera performance.
Right.
Either you like it or not. And there's taste for everyone. There's costumes. There's wigs. There's makeup. There's dancing.
Right.
There is symphonic music playing in the pit. There's acting, live acting on stage.
Right.
And it's a story that everybody can relate to.
Now let's backtrack real quick because a lot of people don't know what a conductor is, right?
Yes.
We say maestro, boom.
Yeah.
What is a conductor?
A conductor is someone that is there physically, emotionally, from the beginning to the end, that leads the performance
Okay.
from the first note to the last note and holds everyone together.
Oh, wow.
Is someone that if you have the image of an arch, so it's basically it's keeping one idea steady from the beginning to the end.
Right.
If you were to have too many people
Right.
add too many ideas to the pot,
Yeah.
then you would have a soup
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that doesn't really taste right.
Right.
It's either too many carrots or it's too much onions. You know what I mean?
This is all, you're really plugging your cooking show.
I
really
actually,
is.
I
Right,
am.
right,
I am.
right.
I
But
am.
Also,
So
the maestro's job is to, the thing that I think is the most amazing about opera is for 2 hours you turn off your phone and you watch 100 people make art for you live.
Right.
How often in your life do you get to experience that,
Right.
And he is the one leading those people. He is connecting the violins to the basses, to the cellos.
To the story.
To the story, to the artist, to the singers on stage, to the lighting. Like he is the crux.
Wow.
He is the hinge that connects it all through the music.
yeah, the best part is actually the collaboration
Yeah.
among everyone, singers and orchestra, deciding how long certain pauses have to be, because like in comedy
Right.
Right?
and in drama, timing
Timing is
is
everything.
everything.
Right.
So if you cut it short or if you keep it too long, then
Right.
it's just not effective.
Is there like a special training to be a
There is,
conductor?
there is.
Because
So-
when you think about when you're thinking about my last opera that I went to go see, Hamilton,
Tell me about it.
the American opera, like
Yep,
you said.
that's what I like.
It's like every scene, like the one scene when they duel, when they were
Yes.
dueling, right?
Yes.
The music changed.
Yeah.
You have to be right on time with the
Right.
music, so the people, the viewer, can feel that emotion,
Right.
right? Wow.
It's a tremendous amount of responsibility.
Yes, that's what, yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so the training is know your instruments, play 1 or 2 instruments, know the theory and the harmony behind it,
Okay.
and just do it so that others, the viewers, don't have to worry about it, because it's my job. It's like being a pilot.
What do you want people
Right.
to walk away with after you're finished that night? That night.
I was part of an experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I want. The same way you get out of a movie theater and say,
Right.
I got something, and sometimes you didn't even know what it is.
Right.
Maybe you're a little bit sad. Maybe
Right.
you're just really happy, or it gave you a little bit of hope.
Right.
And you're not really sure what it was. It was
Right.
probably the acting or the music that was attached to some scene.
Right.
It's exactly the same thing, but it's just happening live in front of you.
Right. Kerriann,
Yeah.
you mentioned you was at Dell State today and down in
Yes.
Sussex. How did those black and brown students, what did they say when you told them who you were? How
Yeah.
did they react?
You know, it's interesting because as I was coming up in the arts, being biracial, I sort of felt like, oh, I don't fit in either place. I think a lot of people who are light-skinned or who are biracial feel like they don't occupy either space. Now I see it as an incredible benefit, right?
Right.
Because I know how to talk to my aunties. Like, I know how to talk to my black family.
Right.
I know how to talk to the white side of my family. So I think it gives me an ability to connect
Right.
that is really valuable. But the main thing is seeing these students who are creative. They are there to study music and theater and production.
Right.
They are creative. They have something in them that they want to tell. I'm not here to tell you how to make art.
Right.
Right? I'm here to tell you to make art.
To make
I'm here to tell you to keep making art, to stay
Right.
curious about
Right,
art, to
right.
not think that any type of art is off limits for you,
Right.
There were students at DSU today who were asking me about coming up to audition for our opera chorus
Did they?
at Opera Delaware because, hey, we pay and why not have that experience?
Right.
Of course you belong in an opera chorus. Of course you belong
Wow.
playing in the pit of an orchestra. Like, I want to nurture these relationships so that you can see yourself not just in the audience, but on the stage,
Right.
in the pit, designing the sets, directing an opera. You could do that.
I love having conversations with creatives and artists like you both, because you can see just the passion that comes out. When did it not become a job for you?
Oh, that's a great question, Ivan. That's a great question. Well, I will just say that when I was singing professionally, I was very, very fortunate. I was very fortunate that I got to go and live in Italy, that I got a lot of people who supported me, and then I ended up singing at places like the Kennedy Center and the Met. But I was also deeply, deeply depressed, and I had horrible anxiety, and I had stage fright, and I had so much imposter syndrome. That's when it was a job for me, actually, was when I was singing, which you would think would be the most joyful part.
Right.
Now it's not a job, because now it's about preparing the path.
Right.
Now it's a calling, right? It feels
Right.
like preparing the path for the artist to make the most authentic art, to be able to be vulnerable, to be able to express themselves, to be able to tell me if they're feeling that anxiety, depression that I felt, so that I can be a comfort to them. And it's my job to prepare the space for the audience. So for me, it's not a job, it's a calling now.
Yeah, when you, that's the right word. I mean, when you find your calling, then, I'm telling you, it's a lot of sweat and tears and blood.
Yes.
that's right.
Yeah.
But you don't count how much the sweat and tears and blood you give, just
Right.
because if the calling is just to give and letting people receive what you have and present something that people can use in their own lives, and maybe you change their lives for just 10 minutes.
Right.
You have done your job. Plus, this is part of my culture, and it's just
Sharing your culture,
yeah,
too.
I'm
Just sharing your
incredibly proud to be able to do this in another country.
That's beautiful. That's
Yes.
beautiful. All right, we got that out the way. Let's talk about this Friday. Okay, let's talk about this Friday, because that's what we're here for.
And to that, salute.
And to that,
Yeah,
salute.
absolutely. We
Salute.
give it cheers.
Right.
So this Friday, this actually came from a conversation I was having with Maestro Domenico
Okay.
in the fall. We were talking about the history of opera, just as you were asking, like, who did opera used to be for? One of the things that Maestro Domenico told me about was at an opera house, they had a casino in the front, and the casino, from the gambling and everybody playing, would pay, and so the opera could be free, right?
Oh, wow.
So it paid for the opera, so all the singers got paid, and everybody
Okay.
was making their coin, but the casino was part of it. So we said, okay, can we try that in Wilmington, Delaware? Why not?
Okay.
We're the adults now. We can decide what we want to do. So we decided to have this opening night micro gala, red carpet runway photo shoot, okay? In Wilmington, Delaware, I'm talking Main Street.
Okay.
Right here around the corner.
Right here around the corner. Red carpet runway photo shoot. We have poker. We have blackjack.
Is this real money?
This is real money, baby.
Okay, just want to check. We got real money in the house.
And you have choices on how you want to
Okay.
compete. Because some people don't want to go hard. But if you're one of the people who wants to go hard, you can win a $1,000 grand prize.
Okay.
You can compete in a poker tournament for a $1,000 grand prize. Or if you just want to try, you can, for $20, join a game of blackjack, join a game of poker, and you win half the pot. Ooh. So you're going to walk away with a little money in your pocket.
Boom.
Right? We're going to
It's a
drink
win-win.
champagne. We're going to
And just back on that.
That's it.
Anytime
Salute.
Salute. Salute.
Every time you say champagne or wine, we're
That's
Vino
the word.
or vino.
or opera.
That's the word. It's a lot of words.
It's, as it should be. You're going to have to pour some more.
we got to keep on pouring.
So I'm so excited about this because it goes beyond the opera itself
Right.
is a work of art. The artists have dedicated so much of their life to be able to tell the story, to be able to sing and create art the way that they do.
Yeah.
So I want you as an audience to feel comfortable and to loosen up and to have a little fun before you go and experience what my friends can do for you.
Oh, wow.
That's what's important to me. I don't want you sitting there with your hands in your lap in a suit that you're uncomfortable in. I want you to be comfortable, and I want you to come and celebrate my friends and how good they are and how much work they have put into this. I'm not going to cry, America. I'm not going to cry. But I'm very, very proud of these people.
Right.
And I want the people of Wilmington to be proud of what you have right in your backyard. You don't have to go to New York. You don't have to go to Philly.
It's right
we
here.
are right here on Main Street, and it's for you. It is for you.
Oh, my gosh. I love it.
Yeah,
I love
you know, sometimes, I don't know why, local sometimes is associated with not high quality.
Yes.
And but when it's about meat and produce, it's
Right.
associated with the greatest
The
quality.
greatest quality.
So I think we should also consider applying that mindset to the arts and the artists
Right.
that just
I
live
love
here.
that.
Yeah, that's
I love
true. That's true. That is so true. Oh, my gosh. So Friday, what time?
Friday, the micro gala is from 5 to 7 at the Grand Opera House. You're going to want to head to operade.org to get your tickets. $50 to attend the micro gala, $150 to compete in the poker tournament, or you can just do those shorter games.
Right.
Right. $50 for the micro gala, and then tickets for the opera start at $29 to come and see La Traviata. So you can have. This is for you, Delaware.
Let's talk about that. What is La Traviata? What because, oh, my God. Let's talk about that.
La Traviata.
Okay.
La Traviata tells the same story, essentially, as Pretty Woman and Moulin Rouge. It's like a blend of those stories.
Oh,
and so
okay.
those stories were an adaptation of that opera,
Okay.
right? So as you see the story, you see that kind of Nicole Kidman character who is surrounded by these men who fawn over her, who want her. She's a courtesan. And she says, sempre libera, always free. I will always be free. No man ain't always going to tie me down.
Oh, wow.
I don't want any obligation to anybody.
Okay.
She meets someone, she falls in love. She has that moment of a deeper connection, which also is something we can all relate to. When you're out there partying and you're having fun all the time,
Yeah.
and then you meet someone who's like, oh, I see you as a human being. Okay, this is a human emotion.
Right.
Right? I'm not going to tell you the end of the story, but I'm going to tell you it is a party, it is a tragedy, it is beauty, it is humanity. You're
All
going
in
to love
one
it.
for 2 hours.
Let's go.
And
Let's
It's,
go.
it's life.
It's life.
And sometimes, you know, again, opera is associated with things that don't happen in real life.
Right.
That's not true.
Right.
Right.
I fell in love in 15 seconds so many times in my life. It just happens
Why,
every...
why 15 seconds?
That's all it takes.
No, because that's all it takes.
He's
It
Italian.
He's
takes,
Italian.
yeah. It takes a glance. It takes a conversation. It takes things that you have in common.
Okay.
Words that you have in common. Interests.
Wow.
It's life, and everyone has gone through this.
What's your favorite opera, Maestro?
The opera that I'm doing at the moment. So that's why it's a difficult.
It's my favorite answer.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to answer.
Right.
Right. So right now it has to be La Traviata. I need to get it out of my system every 2-3 years. You know, when you have the need for a burger,
Yeah.
you just want that burger.
Right.
Same thing. I need to conduct this
Right.
and do it right now.
And the thing that's so amazing is that Maestro, has the score memorized. I mean, like, I've watched him conduct it without the music in front
Yeah,
of him.
just totally
and
just beast
coordinating
mode.
all of these people, like but you still, by doing it again and again, discover new things and
Yes.
create new things because of the artists that you're collaborating with, right? And so that's why it's always fresh and new. That's why your favorite opera is the one you're working on right now.
Absolutely.
All right, now let's dig into the artist, right,
Yeah.
of you both. What is both of you, your creative avenue on how you get into character, how you're ready to, go out there and conduct? Like,
This
what
is
is
great.
that creative experience for you?
This is great. So this is one of the things I was talking to the students at DSU about, is that when we feel nervous, when we feel anxiety about performing, about public speaking, about getting up and conducting in front of thousands of people, that nervousness is really just because you care.
Right.
And caring about something means that you can do it well.
Right.
So I think it's all about how we talk to ourselves. So what I do before I would sing professionally, I would stand in front of the mirror in what we call Superman pose, which is where you put your hands on your hips like
Right.
this. You stand real proud, you put that chin up. I would look myself dead in the eyes and I would say, I'm good enough, I know enough, I am enough. Everything I did to lead me up to this moment, I am now prepared to give you my gift, to offer you my song, to sing for you, to tell you this story. I would say that over and over again on a loop for probably 20 minutes until I believed it. Because it matters how we talk to ourselves before you go and do something vulnerable.
Right, love it, love it.
Yeah.
How about you, Maestro?
Maestro drinks a bottle of wine.
Drink a bottle of wine? No, it's not. It's gonna sound like.
It's gonna sound like you drank a bottle of wine.
Probably not. I don't know. I don't really feel it until 15 minutes before, and it's not even being nervous. It's just being excited.
Okay.
And the thought always ends up on my dad. He passed away 11 years ago.
Rest in
and thank you. And I hear him saying, "All right, let's go. Let's do this."
Yeah.
And then it just happens. And once I'm there, there's just no time to think about anything else.
Do you channel your
thrilling.
father?
Oh yeah.
So thrilling.
I got you.
Oh
I
yeah.
feel you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a generational thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I wish
And-
we had a camera on you because I wish people could see what he looks like when he's conducting.
Totally different.
Right? Like,
Beast
what an
mode.
experience. Beast mode.
Beast mode.
Because you see him now and he's like, well, I
Yeah.
conduct, and he's very laid back.
Yeah.
But this man is fire.
Yeah.
Right? He
Yeah.
is the fire that's keeping us all going in the production, that's connecting everyone. He's an incredibly important part of it, and I hope that when people come to the opera, they take a peek into the pit and they take a look at what Maestro's doing, because it's really, really thrilling.
I love it. I love it. Okay. We got to get out of here.
Okay.
Right? All right. Because I can talk to you
You know
guys.
I'm gonna come back. You know I'm gonna come
I
back.
can talk to you. Yes. I can talk to both of you all day long. This week coming up, cooking with Maestro on DETV.
Let's go.
And opera talk. We're going to talk about opera, drink some, what's it called?
Prosecco, vino.
Vino.
Drink some vino, eat some great Italian, authentic Italian food. I'm gonna give them the credit card, and they're gonna find some great Italian. We gonna cook today. All right. Kerriann, look at your camera for me, and go ahead and give them an invite for Friday.
I'm looking right at you. Listen, people of Delaware, Philly, anywhere, if you're from this area, if you can hear the sound of my voice, opera is for you, and I want you to experience this. Friday night, March 31st, go to operade.org to get your tickets to the micro gala from 5 to 7. That's champagne, red carpet runway, blackjack, poker, a party. And get your tickets for the opera starting at 7:30, La Traviata, okay? We want you.
All right, Maestro. Last words for the people.
Just come and tell us that you saw us on DETV. Say hello. Stay after the show. Stay hello. Free hugs.
Free hugs!
Free better than vino. All right.
Better than vino.
Better than vino. It's your main man, Ivan. Thank you both so
Thanks
much
so much
for
for
coming
Thank you,
by.
Ivan.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Follow us, theetvch.com, all the social media channels, website. Have a great day. Remember to live, love, prosper, but most of all, listen to some opera, something different. All right?
it.
You'll love it. So I'll see you on the other side.